All right, here we are for a sprint takeover where we have an article by James, and we're going to go through it. I need to pause the music. Oh, that was the wrong button. There we go. Okay. A general critique of the article, and I'm getting someone to make coins. All right. Let's zoom in a little bit here. All right, so we have history. Where minted, physical and cultural events. Does it have, okay, acknowledgments? That's very kind of you. History, article, contents. Oh, very nice. And World Codex. I'd probably put the World Codex a little bit lower. Um, because, I don't know. Your call. New sovereigns. Please F5 did formatting. Okay. Okay, new sovereigns. Oh, this keeps resetting. It's frustrating. My pen. I only want monitor 2. There. Oh well. There we go. Okay. Once the United Kingdom had the British pound. Okay. Turn on the countdown. All right. Once the United Kingdom had the British pound, with inflation and the results of the resource elements of the Great Rewind, the currency and its base changed. What resulted is a new currency called the new sovereign, singular, or new sovereigns, plural. All right. The currency base is intergistist, meaning that there are no decimals. The currency works as it would with normal counting with whole numbers. This has many advantages. Multiplication, such as working out how much an item is easier, as well as calculating total cost. The only disadvantage is when dividing, as if a number is not divisible, such as dividing 500 new sovereigns by 3, you'll get 166.67. Since there is no denomination smaller than 5, the solution is often to round down the owing and give the difference to one person. This person changes each time to make it fair. It is often the host who pays the difference. Interesting. Okay. Coins are minted at Zone 3, as there are mints in all cities. Really, that's an interesting call. Each city has a percentage of coins that they need to produce to make the currency strong. If the percentage decreases, they shouldn't produce any more currency, otherwise, the currency would lose its value. Good observation. Or it has fallen to 0%, then the machines for minting coins will be maintained and repaired. That is not to say that the machines are not maintained and repaired when they are. This is not to say that the machines are not maintained or repaired. They are when the process of minting coins is done completely or done for the day. Okay, this sentence is a little bit too long without any punctuation. You probably need to think about a punctuation in there or something. I would just probably split that sentence right there. Okay, oops. Physical and cultural elements. What does the money look like? To save on resources, the currency is made out of nickel, as is all coins. The denominations of the coins are 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, 250. There is no denomination of 1 or 2. What is noteworthy about the coin is the size of denomination goes up, so does the size of the coin. The smallest coin is about the same size as a 2-pound coin. They are this size as to not be lost so easily. On the edge of the coin is reading or ridges. You probably should have maybe put that out using commas. So coins can't be scratched for metal scraps or easily counterfeited. Okay, very good. Now, nickel, you've made the choice of using nickel for all of your coins. Not a very common or considered valuable metal, such as gold or silver. So the reading is more a tradition than it would, because there's not as much demand to steal nickel, unless people, but you can read, or you could scratch it, so to collect nickel to make more nickels, especially if you don't have paper currency. Head sides. Okay. The head side of the coin has a profile of a male face facing right and embossed. No one truly knows who it is. It is rumored that the person is the current reigning monarch, but with no way of checking, the citizens have no real way to be sure who it is. Now, that is an interesting mystery that you've set up there. They have a monarch that is reigning, but they don't know who it is, and there's no way to check. That is an interesting thing that you're putting in there, that even in a small geographical area such as Great Britain, people are unable to travel. People are unable to, there's not one person curious enough to go and find that out. That's an interesting choice that you've made there, and a great possibility of knowing to figure it out, but also why. Okay, we need answering why they can't travel, why they can't figure it out, why they never knew. What about the Great Rewind made it so that they don't know who the monarch is? Because even, right now, that you have Elizabeth, Charles, Prince, the next guy, sorry, his name escapes me, Kate's husband. William, thank you. And then you have George, I think. No, his daughter is next. But even before, even now, we know the line of succession. So that would be, not that you need to change it. You may just need to explain why. Tail sides of the coin. It will have laurel leaves to either side of the domination. Domination. Is it domination or denomination? Denomination. Because you're using domination, but it may be denomination. So, is the center at the 12 o'clock position with the word new and at the 6 sovereigns. Okay, that makes sense. The symbol of the new sovereign currency is NS. It doesn't really have a complex symbol as it does with the dollar or the pound. This is mainly because it would require a new character in printing to allow for the new symbol. To make it easier for the printing industry, they opted for the simpler option of putting NS. Denomination. Thanks, Sudin. Okay, see, that's a... See, this, you explain, you provided a why. You said it's going to be NS, and you said why. That really helps me understand the decision behind it. And the coins, yep, that looks good. I like the idea of the unknown face on it. But that would really need to have a lot of explanation, because everybody knew who Caesar was when his face was on the coin. So you would need to have a good explanation why nobody knew this face, or how this face or how this person became the sovereign without, if they're not in the line of succession. Because right now we know, I mean, heck, I don't personally know, but you could, I mean, the line of succession is like, oh, George is the sixth. Yeah, you know the sixth, you know the 12th. It would just be interesting how in the Great Rewind you had someone who nobody knows the face in the area, but somebody obviously knows it well enough to actually put his face on it. So interesting. If you want that to be a mystery, keep it going. But why is it a mystery? Okay. Um, Succession, not secession. Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Denomination versus domination versus denomination. Yeah. Very, very close words. I changed the O to an E, then Grammarly picked it up. Okay. And see, that's why a close reading is required. And even I wasn't able to do a close enough reading because my mind filled in the blank. And see, that's when challenging when editing your own works is that your mind fills in it's in the blank and you just skip over it when it's not a tight reading of the story or the text. Um, so general idea. I think it is a good article. I think you have a strong description. You said that you were going to add additional pictures. That's going to be cool when we could see that. It is interesting that you've made all of them out of nickel and that the differentiation is going to be the size. Interesting choice. F5. Okay, that is the end of the sprint. I'm just going to go and put... Oh, I already have a like there. Oh, okay. We must have gone over this before. All right. So let's see. What recommendations would I have? I do find it interesting that when somebody reset the currency for a country, that you did choose to have it so that you never have smaller than one, like the dollar, where you have penny, nickels, dimes, quarters, half dollars, but you made it more so that the new sovereign is the base unit. I would love to know what are some common prices that you have. Is an apple, I mean, if you go and buy an apple, is it a sovereign? Or do you get 10 apples for a sovereign? What is the exchange rate or relative equivalency between the British pound as it is and these new new sovereigns at the time of the Great Rewind or when they decided to reset? It's interesting that you chose not to have a 1 or a 2. Understandable. There are many people here in the United States who want to get rid of the penny and have the nickel being the smallest. Um, okay, a jar of honey is 130 new sovereigns. Okay, that's good to know. Or about 1.04 pounds. Okay. Um, I think you would need to go into how people do the rounding a little bit more. See, you probably, if it was a digital society, meaning if you still had computers, you probably wouldn't have to worry about that. But if you're in a society where it is only, I mean, you have a unit of measurement that nobody can use. You have a 5, you have a 10, but you don't have a 1. So that is just interesting because then why not just make the 5 a 1? You know, people want to be able to sell something for 1 sovereign. They they can do that. They can sell 5 for 1. But what if they don't have 5? I think there needs to be some more explanation. And you did talk a little bit about of this solution here, rounding down the owing and giving the difference to one person. Uh, I'm not as familiar with this, so I would need more explanation, and I think it would be a good job to maybe break at least a new paragraph, if not a new section, at least a brand new paragraph explaining the process of rounding for people who are using a cash only or currency only uh, money system, because this is easy if it was a bank with a computer. You can do that all you want with yes, give examples of them doing the rounding. And you can't I'm sorry, but you can't just say the person changes each time to make it fair, because there's going to be a Scrooge. There is going to be a business person who is going to demand that they are the one that always receive it. There needs to be a law. In my opinion, there needs to be a law saying, nope, this is the exact rules of rounding, so that people can't be forced or coerced. The strong over the weak. The you know to prevent stuff like that. Okay, so there we go. That is the alarm for the next sprint.